Dana Schwartz, and this is Rise or Die, the official companion podcast for Peacock's original series, Those About to Die. On this podcast, I go behind the scenes with the show's cast and creators to learn how they brought their brutal vision of Rome to life.
Gosh, people will freak out.
Rise or Die launches on July 18th. Watch or listen wherever you get your podcasts.
Hi, I'm Jennifer, a co-founder of the Go Kid Go network. At Go Kid Go, putting kids first is at the heart of every show that we produce. That's why we're so excited to introduce a brand new show to our network called The Search for the Silver Lining, a fantasy adventure series about a spirited young girl named Isla who time travels to the mythical land of Camelot. During her journey, Isla meets new friends, including King Arthur and his Knights of the Round Table, and learns valuable life lessons with every quest, sword fight, and dragon ride. Positive and uplifting stories remind us all about the importance of kindness, friendship, honesty, and positivity. Join me and an all-star cast of actors including Liam Neeson, Emily Blunt, Kristen Bell, Chris Hemsworth, among many others, in welcoming the Search for the Silver Lining podcast to the Go Kid Go network by listening today. Look for the Search for the Silver Lining on Spotify, Apple, or wherever you get your podcasts.
Welcome back to Angel on Top, a podcast where we watch and discuss every episode of Angel, one by one, spoiler-free, and in tandem with no one. Everything has changed. We're all alone. I'm your co-host, LaToya Ferguson, a.k.a. the comatose chase of the buffering verse, a.k.a. one half of the gun squad, bang bang, but now like a gavel, a.k.a. the Gilbert to Morgan Sullivan, a.k.a. Daddy, even if no one can remember that, a.k.a. even more annoying new nicknames to come.
And I'm your co-host, Morgan Lutich, a.k.a. the Winifred Burkle of the Buffering Verse, a.k.a. the other half of the gun squad. Bang, bang on the gavel, I'll allow it, says the judge. A.k.a. the Sullivan to LaToya's Gilbert, a.k.a. Mommy? a.k.a. even more annoying new nicknames to come.
And this week, we're watching Angel Season 5, Episode 1, Conviction. Conviction was written and directed by Joss Whedon. It aired on the WB on October 1st, 2003.
And this is the one where Team Angel handles their first big case as the owners and proprietors of Wolfram and Hart.
Previously on Angel. Nothing. There is no previously on Angel. No. They are, it's a new era.
Oh, yeah.
It's a repiloting, as it were. We're starting anew so people can jump in. We're also harkening back to the series premiere. Some notes about the state of the WB at the time.
Please.
Dawson's Creek is over. Angel is now paired with Smallville Season 3. Smallville is its lead-in. Smallville Season 3 slaps.
Okay.
Just to let you know where Conviction got 5.2 million viewers. The Smallville Season 3 premiere, Exile, got 6.8. Smallville was a hit, baby.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I was hearing about Smallville.
Yeah, I was hearing about it in the streets. It seems charmed over on the Big Sunday. Its ratings were going down a little bit, but it was still in the 5 million range, actually.
That's what happens when Cole Turner's not in your season.
Exactly, because we're at season 6 now. And then it was paired with the new series, the WB and Eric Kripke's Tarzan, which famously a flop, right?
Yeah.
But Tarzan premiered with 5.5 million viewers, and it was considered a failure, right? That's because every week the ratings went down so much from 5.5 million to when Charmed premiered with 5.8 million for its Valhalla of the Dolls, and then Tarzan went 4.3, then 3.8, then 3. Then 2.8, then 2.9, then 2.7. And then finally, like it was 2.8 million the week that Charmed went up to 6 million with Crisscrossed. So for that, it's off. They're just putting Charmed reruns on. Oh My Goddess, the season 5 finale, they played both parts. A rerun did 3.1 million. It's just better than new episodes of Tarzan did.
That's because that shit's good.
The Big Sunday also, it was doing before primetime, it was doing Smallville Beginnings, which they had done with Gilmore Girls. So they're showing like the first couple seasons too. So you know. Cool. That was a cool way to catch up on things. And that was doing better ratings than Tarzan was by a certain point. It's like, wow, 5.5, what was the problem? It just kept going and going and going.
Ooh, that's grim. So that gives us kind of an eye towards what was going on in the WB at the time. I know that the mandates for this season were like, hey, can the people who are watching this show smile sometimes? Which I don't disagree with as a network mandate, but...
And this is the season of Smallville that causes them to say that for the next season of Smallville. I will say that Smallville season 3 is not like as dire and depressing as Angel season 4, but like it was like the dark serialized season, and they're like, okay, let's not do that. And then they course correct way too hard the next season. It's just goofy ass show. Let's see. Do you want to talk before we really get into the episode about the hair?
I want to talk about the hair.
Okay.
I want to say a couple things about the hair. For those of you who didn't watch this episode, you might have missed David Boreanaz's hair. Angel, the character, has always had quite distinct hair. It's pointy. It goes up.
Goes straight up.
It does not go up the amount that it used to go up and then back a little bit, forming a huge helmet. Except it does here. So I don't like this. This looks weird. It looks fucking weird. It does not flatter his face shape. This is not how I like my Boreanaz. And I was very upset and I found it very distracting. I had to watch this episode 2 times because the first time I was like, why is his hair like this? Why is his hair like this? Every time he was on camera, and I had to take notes on other things. So...
So as I noted beforehand, this hair is very much David's hair and not Angel's hair, which is problematic because we've talked before about like when a character has like hair that's their actor's hair, that's not their character's hair, and so this season is also right after Boreanaz starred in the music video for Dido's White Flag, in which he did have this hair.
So this is White Flag hair.
Technically, this is also, I think, Boreanaz's natural hair and not when he has to put his hair straight up. Also, usually, and this is something I confirmed through a lot of research prior to this episode, Boreanaz's hair is not dark brown naturally. His hair is like sandy or brown, like very dark blonde. Like I was watching a Kelly Clarkson show video with him, and like he would let the hair grow out, and like it was like he was no longer dyeing it, so there was the gray and the mix of the sandy brown. Actually looked quite good.
That's a good look. Yeah.
I was like, oh, okay.
Look, send a friend a link if you got it.
It seemed. Oh, I have links in my notes, so don't worry. But yeah, it seems like possibly he was tired of the upkeep, which understandable, honestly.
Yeah, that's hard.
And it's like, if I have to keep coloring my hair, at least give me this grace. That's what I assume it was.
Yeah, I was like, I'll color it again, but like, let me keep it at the length I like it. And I know we're in for it for a few episodes.
Yeah, because I know also when he eventually went to Bones, he had to like cut it again, and it was even like had to cut it pretty short too for Bones because he plays an FBI agent. So
yes, and isn't he like a former military? Like, and his hair is supposed to reflect that. Okay, well. All right. I'll allow it. I will try to not talk about it too much during this episode now that I've gotten it out of my system, but I am not responsible for the words that come out of my mouth, as we all know.
We all know this. And one more thing about this episode of television. There were 3 promos for this episode and to hype up season 5, known as, let's see. I think there are little nicknames for each of them. One of them was known as Blood Brothers. The next one was known as Good Deeds, and the other was Touch of Sunnydale. The last two, just to let you know what era we are in pop culture, they were scored with Jet's Are You Gonna Be My Girl?
Yes!
The first one tried to be serious. And the other two were like, we're having fun, guys. Jet's playing. It's 2003. Jet's playing.
You know Jet.
Yeah.
Good gravy. That is a rebrand. Like, and that feels like what is going on here. And it's interesting.
The important thing about these promos is that they reveal something that is honestly revealed if you watch the opening credits. So we were going to discuss it now. And I believe they were also on the cover of Entertainment Weekly, the both of them. So
yeah, this was pretty common knowledge at the time. And like, I knew it before I watched this season.
That is that Spike is here, baby.
He's ours now.
After his sacrifice at the end of Buffy the Vampire Slayer, he has returned. Something that is insane in these promos, and I don't understand the editing of it. And I'm like, I thought maybe it was an error in one of the promos I watched, like just like uploading, and then I looked over and it is elsewhere. When they're introducing Spike in the promos, which the first one is Blood Brother, so it's all about theirs was a brotherhood stained in blood. You hear Spike saying, when he's like, Angel, Spike, and Spike says, AKA William the Bloody. Except for, he doesn't say, AKA William the Bloody. He says, AK William Bloody. And this is in multiple promos.
AK William Bloody. Anyways, we care about this show and will in no way cancel it this year.
And yes, I did confirm they did cancel it on Valentine's Day. That's when it was announced. That's just a real big F you.
So grim. So rude.
But yeah, and then in big letters, Spike, the WB presents Angel.
Jeez. How do you feel about Spike being on this show?
Well, for the first promo, I will just say, in my notes I put, you would never know this show is an ensemble because it's all about Spike and Angel. And then the other promos, they have more ensemble, but mostly it's like, this is a buddy comedy.
Yeah.
And we will see during this season how I feel about the buddy comedy aspect of the show, considering what's at stake, what's happened, what's on the line. Again, what's happened? I've watched these shows.
Yeah.
I like James Marsters' work. I like Spike as a character. It's just...
It feels shoehorned. And there's a lot of things in this episode that feel shoehorned. And there's a lot of things that made me feel not so good in metatextual ways that I would like to talk about as we go through it. Because obviously this is a pivot and an attempt to give a network something they want more than what the show was, and a way to kind of like erase some of the more unsavory elements of season 4.
And as we see, the show was a hit. Maybe not a Smallville hit, because like Smallville was thriving, but still a hit. And as I was like just confirming, I was right about the cancellation. It was like just a petty power play type of thing that backfired because the network fucking died and you got rid of one of your biggest shows.
Yeah, and also like I'm sure there was like probably bad blood from what happened with Buffy there too as well, and it moving like from the WB to the UPN because of everything that happened there. And that is all interesting to know about. Should we dig in to the app itself? And I think I'll have a couple moments where I kind of pull us out to talk about some macro things, if that's cool.
Yeah. I think we're good now. I just had to get all of this out, and I think
And I appreciate it. I feel like I have a lot more context for what's going on here.
I wish, again, now I'm just like, I need to have like the commercials from when it aired. I want to watch the show with commercials now all the time.
Like, I want to watch this with trailers for Matrix Revolutions, and I think I deserve that. I
want, like, trailers for, like, rom-coms I forgot all about.
Yeah.
It's funny watching my Boston Public rips because from first season, it's, like, all, like, rips from Fox, but then after that, it's, like, the rips are the reruns from, like, the Wii network. So after like every episode, it's like the Wii movie of the week or whatever. And it's like these movies I completely forgot existed.
Amazing. Movies that no longer exist.
Yeah, because they're like, oh no, we should not have made these movies at all. Why is Elizabeth Shue doing like Flowers for Algernon?
Oh, don't do that.
There is like a movie where she's like basically doing that. And I'm like, what's happening here?
Oh, Elizabeth Shue, no. We open. How else are you going to open an Angel episode? In a dark alleyway. Some blonde lady is walking alone at night.
Some blonde lady.
And she finds herself face to face with a vampire.
It happens.
Yeah. Look, I mean, you and I both Angelinos, happening to us all the time.
All the fucking time. That's how I broke my ankle, actually. I was running from a vampire.
I know. We got to watch out for them. So who runs across the rooftops and swings in on a rope like he's the WB's very own Tarzan, but Angel?
And he's like, wow, has Angel been watching season 1? And this is what he should be doing from that?
Yeah. So he fights the vampire, fight. He wins.
I write in my notes, Morgan is furious about the hair.
It's so long. And the blonde girl, she's scared. But Angel's like, you're going to be fine, just stay out of dark alleyways. And he walks off, and the music swells, and suddenly we hear tires screech, and he's surrounded by Wolfram and Hart goons, like all in their like tactical outfits, their guns, and their bulletproof vests. One steps forward. He identifies himself as Agent Hauser, and he's the head of the operations team.
First of all, the actor who plays Agent Hauser, he played a teacher at Jeremy's parent-teacher conference in the Vampire Diaries episode Rescue Me.
Hell yeah, King.
Second of all, there came a point, and I'm so sorry, Jenny, where I just started calling this guy Riley.
Don't apologize to Jenny.
Literally same. I was
Riley
waiting for fucking Riley to be one of the guys under the masks. Sorry. Goodbye.
I'm like, this guy is Riley.
He is. He's like, what you could never understand is that I believe in a cause. And it's like, a lot of people do that. This guy he's pretty aggro. He is like, I'm the head of the operations team. You shouldn't come out without us. Some Wolfram and Hart suit comes up to Angel and is like, you can't go off alone. We actually tracked you here by a lapel in your big flowy jacket. And I was like, is nothing sacred?
Nothing is sacred. This Wolfram and Hart suit, who's actually very important, played by TJ Thune, also star of Bones. This is a pre-Bones meeting of the minds.
He's a boner?
I hate you so much. Yes, he is a boner.
Anyone who was on Bones is a boner, in my opinion.
Yes.
Okay, he did look vaguely familiar, so that does make sense. Thank you. You love me.
I think he like showed up on Boston Legal too, so you definitely have seen him.
Yeah, he did look familiar. So they're like, hey, take a picture with this blonde lady. And, she's going to have to sign some paperwork and all of this stuff. And they're like, also, we do rep the boss of that vampire you killed. But it's no big deal. First week, like, stuff's crazy. Anyway, and the blonde girl thinks Angel's a fucking sellout. The worst thing anyone can think of you.
Of course. We all know this.
Mm-hmm.
I miss sellout culture because the world we live in.
Yeah, I mean, everyone's selling out all over the place. And if anyone would like to pay me to sell out, I would like to
absolutely.
Oh,
let them know. Please. LaToya and I would love to, hawk your products.
We'll write the new Bone spinoff.
Boners, unite! So we go to credits, which include Spike fuck away.
They show his image before they even show James Marsters, who is second billed, by the way.
Yeah. Woof. I miss Cordy. I miss the Hyperion. We end credits. We go to an elementary school where a little boy named Matt talks to his friend about comics. His dad doesn't let him read The Punisher. I'm sorry, kid.
I knew you'd have opinions on that.
Every child deserves to have access to Frank Castle. We go then to the Wolfram and Hart lobby.
Okay.
Fred comes out of the elevator. We have this whole bit about how, like, the elevator, they're one of those elevators that, like, open on the wrong side.
Yeah, one of those
you're,
double
all confused.
elevators.
Yeah, which exists to make us all feel foolish.
Before we really get into the scene, we have to talk about the set, obviously. I did see that you said it is a very proto-Dollhouse.
Very.
And I agree to the point I thought they just recycle, when Dollhouse started, I'm like, oh, they just recycled the Wolfram and Hart set.
Yeah, it's very similar. The Dollhouse wood colors are a lot redder. It's more of like a cherry kind of a color, whereas these are just like a soft brown. And I was like, wow, sign of the times. We really just changed what cool wood color was by just a few degrees.
Yeah.
It's almost exactly the same as the Dollhouse. It's wild.
Obviously, I love the Hyperion. I was furious with Kristin in the finale when she's like, said she was happy to be out of there. I'm like, you bite your fucking tongue.
The place is beautiful.
Sorry.
But, can you hear something?
But I will say, I appreciate this show for its use of sets, I guess, because, and I was reading up on this, Joss had production design build a set, it's another large fucking sprawling set, large enough that they could all walk around with a Steadicam, so never have to cut. This scene is a 4.5 minute shot. There is no cut in this scene because the set is big enough that these are like actually rooms that they can walk through. And that's cool. And I wrote in my notes, the bear found dead in a ditch.
Absolutely, the bear found dead in a ditch. Joss Whedon, as a writer and director, who maybe you've heard of if you listen to this podcast, is a big fan of long takes. And I think he is right to be. He believes that they establish a space really well, especially when you're in a new space. It's a hard thing to do. It means you run 4.5 minutes over and over again, almost like you're doing a tiny little play rather than just doing one actor's coverage. But it does really give you a sense of the set, a sense of the space, and a sense of like the way our characters are relating to the space, which is good when you're introducing a new location. But I just do think the Wolfram and Hart offices look a little basic.
But also, we're technically a legal drama now, so you gotta have space for a walk and talk, baby.
You're absolutely right. But before we even start walking and talking, we must speak about how adorkable Fred is being in this episode.
We're going to speak about that because we do have another important thing to speak about, and that's about Alexis.
Yeah. Oh, what thing?
Oh, so 3 weeks before... No.
I was looking for his scar and I couldn't see it.
The scar should be there, but I wasn't paying attention to that. So 3 weeks before filming, he was hit with Bell's palsy. His entire left side is paralyzed.
Oh,
if you watch this scene, when he's talking to Fred especially, you only see his right side. You can see... When the scene opens, you can see a little bit that it's not, and you can tell throughout the episode that it's not moving, but yeah.
Oh, wow. That must have been really scary.
Oh, absolutely, yeah. I remember at the time it had been, like, it come out, too. But yeah, I had remembered it to watch it, so I'm like, let me see. It's easy to notice, but it's also something, like, they're conscious of, and they film accordingly.
Oh, wow. Well, I didn't notice at all. I was probably because I was staring at his neck trying to find his throat scar.
You little freak.
I like what I like. Fred, she can't figure out which end of the elevator to go out, and she's carrying all this stuff. And she's like,
girl, what you doing?
She's like, have you seen my lab? It's giganimous, and I'm in charge.
I'm a girl.
And I'm a girl. Whoa, will they let me? Like, I struggled with Fred in this app. She's adorable. Amy is so winning, but it just feels like, oh, okay. Now the girl, she'll be happy and she'll be bouncy and she won't ever make anyone feel uncomfortable or sad.
The highlight of the episode for Fred is when she reads her whole lab for FEUD because they're all pieces of shit. And I will get into how they're all pieces of shit, including you, especially you, Knox.
Yeah, especially Knox. So
we're not all evil. You signed up when this place was 100% evil. You came in to do evil. They all came in to do evil.
Yeah. You aren't getting around that. So she's insecure about heading up the science department, and like Wes is kind of like trying to manage her emotions and says,
I'm still stuck back at, why on earth are we here?
What, because we're crusaders against evil, and now the law firm that represents most of the evil in the world has given us its LA branch to run however we want? Probably in an attempt to corrupt, divide, or destroy us, and we all said yes in like 3 minutes.
Your run-on sentences have got a lot less pointless.
That's so sweet, and a tad condescending.
hey, shut up, dude. This felt, Wes is being a little bit of a dick, telling Fred that her speech has gotten less pointless.
No, her run-on sentences, which remember, her run-on sentences used to be quite pointless. There's a whole thing she wrote on the walls.
I think they're great. Do we feel that this like summary of events where they're like, yeah, and we agreed like 3 seconds in is like kind of retconny and like purpose and intent?
Yes. Because they also, it feels like 3 seconds in because they do not have the whole, well, Angel Lynn had to go stop Connor from murdering everyone. Mm-hmm. So technically they did like immediately say yes. They don't know why.
Fair enough.
There's a time gap.
Fair enough. But I read in my notes, yucky? ? Shut up, Joss.
Yeah, she gives the exposition for the new status quo of the show.
It's cute.
Knox shows up. Wes asks him how long he's been evil. Oh, I just mix the potions, you know? Oh, you're just following orders. We saw your creepy stalker phone last season.
Yeah, we know your shit. Also, Fred, who's been struggling with her box, and Wes has been like offering to carry it over and over again. She'll let Knox hold her box. Boom. Word
Fired. Fired.
I'm just shaking my head emphatically. That's why it went silent, everyone.
And I'm like posing, you guys. I'm doing like thumbs ups. Like I'm
thumbs down.
Serving Luke's.
You're fired.
Fair. But you can't fire me until we're done with this episode. Fred is really charmed by Knox. Like, it's not working. Like, whatever, like, the shade Wes is throwing is not going through.
She calls him Noxy. I want to vomit.
Yeah, and Wes doesn't like that either. You're in good company. As Fred and Knox leave, a basketball hits Wes in the chest because who's here? The #1 basketball fan of all time, Charles Gunn.
I want to imagine there's like a basketball court on site at One from the Heart. Obviously, like, there's like a racquetball gym there too, you know.
I mean, I would love that, but yeah, I do not care for our lone black character shows up with a basketball at the beginning of the show to prove to be here for the first time.
It could be worse. He could be challenging Wes to a battle rap.
Fair enough. Could put out some cardboard to do a break dance. It just didn't feel great to me. And Wes feels subtly different now. Like, he's a little more cantankerous. He's very obvious about being like his jealousy over Knox and Fred. And Gunn is like, oh, is Fred okay? Like, has none of that has left for him. He has moved on, it would appear. Am I correct?
It seems that way, even though towards the end of the season it seemed like there was potential for reconciliation. But he has a basketball now.
He has who needs a girlfriend when you have a basketball?
That's what I'm always saying.
That's what I
should play basketball. But yeah, they're walking, they're talking. They showed the mailman close up earlier in the scene. We should note that the mailman is a Mexican luchador, as a Mexican masked wrestler. For those who don't know,
and he's got a package with Angel's name on it. And so Gunn explains that he's chosen his office as long as it's cool with Wes. It's the office that makes him feel the least inadequate. And I want to say that like J. August Richards is delivering all of this dialogue with like so much pep and charisma, and like with a oneer. When you shoot a really long scene like this, you run the risk of it being paced way too slowly. And you're stuck in editing having to pick the best long take, and you can be stuck with something that like really, really expands if your actors aren't being like smart and quick and pacing everything up. And he is doing all of that stuff, and I love it. But I just like hate the like how low status they are making Gunn like seem and feel in this moment. Like I thought that in the finale they did such a good job of him not necessarily knowing what his place would be here and then being like, no, we believe that you're an asset worth having. And now I just don't like all the things that are being said about God, especially later when Eve said he had the most unused potential.
We'll talk about Eve soon.
Yeah.
I will wait to discuss this character.
Me want to shove my head through a window. And including that Gunn does not know what feng shui is and calls it kung pao, which I don't necessarily believe he'd know the words feng shui, but I don't believe he'd think it was called kung pao.
Joss Whedon.
So it's like, Joss Whedon, and then written and directed by Joss Whedon comes up, and I'm like, oh. So we're all gonna take time to get comfortable here, except for Lauren, who is sold the fuck out immediately. Which I think is funny.
He deserves it.
He deserves it, and I think it's funny as a joke, but I also think is like really undercuts the fact that he's like the sweetest of all of them.
Well, yeah. I think the thing is about him selling out is that it's like there's no worry possibly on his part that he'll go like get in over his head, because like he can read auras, he can tell when someone's like shifty and not to be trusted.
Yeah.
Like he's making deals and making moves, but like he's in control, I like to believe.
Lord, I hope so. So Angel shows up. He struggles with the elevator as well. He goes up to the boys. He tells them everything about last night, and he's like, we got to get rid of everything here. Like, we're clearing fucking house. No more Wolfram and Hart shit here at Wolfram and Hart.
Also, I gotta say, props to Alexis. Despite, again, what happened, they trusted him to give him the most to do of this 4.5 minute shot.
Oh yeah, he's very much the anchor of it. Like everyone is coming to him and then leading him somewhere and then splitting off from him so that someone else can join. And yeah, he's absolutely
That's talent,
crushing.
baby.
Yeah, that's talent.
Heard of it?
I have. So our next scene takes place in Angel's office.
Yeah, now we're just doing different shots.
No,
the fun is done.
Yeah, the fun is over, and Angel says, everything must go, starting with that. And he points at a woman. Before you speak, I just want you to know that I wrote in my notes, this man won awards for feminism. That, my feelings on Eve aside, rough in your new bouncy peppy version of the show where everything's a lot happier, has your male lead referring to a woman he's never met as that. Cool.
Love it.
My next note is Eve, sad face.
Yes, as numerous members of our Angel on Top Patreon Discord are calling her the Wish.com version of Lila.
Good gravy. Like, Lila Morgan is rolling around in hell knowing that this is their liaison to Wolfram and Hart now. Terrible.
All right, here we go. We talk a lot about the things that date Angel and Buffy. I think nothing dates this show more than the fact that Sarah Thompson has an arc on it. I say this having just watched the first 3 seasons of Boston Public, of which she's featured recurring in the first 2 seasons.
Wow.
This woman starred in the infamous direct-to-DVD movie / failed pilot Cruel Intentions 2.
Ooh, okay.
Yes, a movie that at least gave us Amy Adams.
Yeah, there we go.
Yeah, she was also on Seventh Heaven. for a long time, not even a long time, for a full season, but like everyone hated her character. Not just like people watching, like the characters in the show hated her character. That was part of the show. She's like there for like a full season. Everyone just like hating her. She gets like, she forces like Simon to like propose to her, and everyone's just like, that's not cool.
Yikes.
I mean, that just sucks for her. She's actually married to the actor who played Tucker on Buffy.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, and so the thing I almost spoiled like this character's existence last season because I mixed a casting thing up, and the thing was originally the character of Eve was supposed to be played by Firefly's Morena Baccarin.
Oh, a very cool and hot person.
Yes, but she had scheduling conflict. I think it's because she was doing the WB pilot Still Life with Jensen Ackles, which everyone thought was going to go because it was made by John August, and everyone thought it was going to go to series, and it just did not. And it's crazy because, like, literally immediately, I'm just like, this Eve character feels like a child playing dress up.
Yeah.
Which is one thing on Riverdale when they're doing it, because they're all children playing dress up.
Yeah.
But when every other character is like an adult on this show, and you have the one, playing dress up, it's funny.
And it's also like even just like, and this doesn't help this actress because like at the time, like the style of suit was like a little, I think like boxier in some ways. So even like her clothes look a little oversized,
literally
like she is a child dressing up in someone else's clothes. It's rough. It's quite bland. She's doing Whedon quips, but they are just not landing. Boreanaz is like selling that he's like angry but also horny for her right away, which I also kind of hate because I'm like, why? Like
it's people who have been doing this for years who have this all down, having to play like she is on the same level as them. And it's different when it's Justine because that's hilarious.
Yeah, Justine was hilarious, and we found a way to, in narrative, justify who Justine was and like why she sucked. But like, who's this bitch? Like, she like has all of this dialogue and all these jokes that just fall terribly flat. Like she's like, I'm Eve, and before you make the joke, I'm gonna present you with an apple. And like Angel eats the apple later in the season to like punctuate another one of her non-jokes.
I'm trying to think of like a casting thing on WB or CW that probably one we've talked about before, where it's like you cast someone who like reads too young for the role, and then it just like falls apart, and I feel like that's what's happening here.
Yeah, I absolutely do think it's a case of her reading far too young, which is interesting because Wes says to her, like, after Eve explains, like, you know, she answers to the senior partners, and Wes is like, well, that's a really powerful position for a young woman. And she says, how can you be sure I'm either of those things?
And I don't buy that she's anything more.
Oh, yeah. I do not buy that there's some kind of eldritch evil living inside her, even potentially.
She reads not even just fresh out of law school, assuming she's a lawyer. She reads, like, still in law school.
Yeah.
At most.
She could easily play high school. Like, she does.
She was just on Boston Public as a student.
Yeah. And it's not that there's anything wrong with being young or playing young. It's just
it's
like,
the WB.
There's no gravitas there. Whereas all the Riverdale kids, even though they're tiny children with businesses, I believe that they're sharks that only care about their bottom line, baby.
And it's funny because they are children. Literally children playing dress up. And that's funny.
And that's good to me. So Eve rattles off some exposition. And we learn that Wolfram and Hart actually has clients that are not evil because things are complicated. She says, if you shut this place down, you won't have it anymore. Like it'll fall apart and evil will take their business elsewhere and it will lose its power. So you do have to keep things running and keep clients happy. And Gunn is like, let them get away with stuff, you mean? But Eve's like, come on, get fucking amped. This is fun. This is unprecedented. Like, Eve is excited that we live in unprecedented times. And Eve, no.
Yeah. It is also, like, almost a shame that we already have Alexa Davalos for Gwen because she could pull off this role.
Absolutely. And
Bring back Gwen.
Yeah, bring back Gwen. And she's like, I recommend that you go through the client files and, see who you represent and what kind of business you are currently running and how you want to change it. So we cut to the big conference table in Angel's office a little later. We're going through the files, and we are all tired. What a great tableau of all of them. Good shot, Joss.
I do have. I'm happy we have a lot of our friends being the gang doing the stuff together.
It's nice. It really is. So we name drop a couple clients: Joe Kennedy, George Sr., who I assume to mean George H.W. Bush.
Yeah, that bitch.
Yeah, and Gunn has found a dude named Corbin Fries that he'd like to draw all of our attention to. He smuggles women from Asia into the U.S. for cheap labor and prostitution. He's currently on trial for this, and it's not going well.
He also does gun and drug running on top of that.
It's like a diverse portfolio, a multi-hyphenate. What can't Corbin Fries do?
We also learned later, basically, he's a corporate guy, too, because, the judge has, stocks, shares of stocks in his company. He is full-on corporate. He's not just, some worldwide low-level sleaze bag.
Even though that is the vibe he gives off.
Oh, 100%. He has to have a public face of the company, right?
Yeah, someone else is doing all that shit. So Angel's like, I'll have my secretary go through all the files. Oh, wait, I don't have one.
You used to. Her name was Cordelia. Remember? Yeah. I mean, yes, he does remember her, and we'll talk about that later, too, actually.
She's our friend. And Wes is like, I'll get you a secretary that can stomach working for a good guy. And they're like, we'll have to, check out all of the staff. And Angel goes, God, did we do the right thing? And we did the right thing, right? And no one answers him. It's time to go to sleep. So everyone peels off, and he's going to keep working throughout the night.
He's Angel. He's a vampire.
Yeah, he's a vampire. He can work at night. So in Gunn's office, Eve is waiting for him there. She comments on how much simpler his previous life was, which makes me want to scream. Gunn is like, I fucking see what you're doing, and I have no interest in returning to my old life. And the way he speaks about it is the dialogue that he's given graded me the wrong way. It felt very dismissive. He's like, oh yeah, I can't wait to go back to eating garbage and doing all this shit. And I'm like, well, he's really proud of the stuff that he did, right? He's proud of what he created and the community that he kept safe. And
that kind of thing, the issues he might have with it, it's not the kind of thing he's going to tell it to some rando. It's the kind of thing he would talk to, Fred about.
Yeah, and I was like, he should be proud of it, even if he technically, for lack of a better way to describe it, grew out of it. He was, in a way, called up to the big leagues to handle, bigger demonic threats. Mm-hmm. Than just local vampire fighting. Yeah. But not cool to talk about it that way.
And we were talking about in the finale, talking about what things we were interested to see if they stuck around for the season or do not stick around for the season. As we see Lacey, the one who recruits him in the finale, does not stick around. I hate that.
Would have liked to see Lacey.
Possibly she should have been the liaison.
Yeah. She seemed very charming. Eve says she sees why the senior partners chose him, and she gives him a card and walks off. Wes sees this and is like, what's that? And Gunn's like, oh, it's for a tailor. She must not like my clothes.
We're already lying to each other.
We're already lying, and I hate that too. I hate that him being the first domino to fall over. It just doesn't feel the person who wrote this respects Gunn.
It's almost like the person who wrote this wasn't actually in charge of the show from day to day until now, because Buffy is over and Firefly is over. Mm-hmm. Because, Jeffrey Bell was running the show the past 2 seasons, I believe, yeah.
Yeah.
It was Greenwald's show, then it was Jeffrey Bell's show, and now Joss is here. Now, no, I'm not going to say it. I was going to say Daddy's Home, but I'm Daddy.
Daddy's Home. Yeah,
I'm Daddy.
You're Daddy here.
Fuck that bitch.
Absolutely. And it just it makes me feel like sick. And it's not to say that there isn't, like, obviously this would be the plan on Wolfram and Hart's part, like, to divide and conquer them. And someone has to be the first domino to fall and all of that stuff. But I just hate that it's Gunn. It feels lazy and not very justified and shitty and racist. And I don't like it.
Again, it feels like someone who hasn't been around to actually care about this character.
Absolutely. Like, it feels like someone with a very vague understanding and being like, oh, yeah, of course, I can write a gun scene. He's got a basketball and he doesn't know words. Great job.
Where's my cinema file? Like, where's my film buff?
Yeah. I miss it. I miss my beautiful boy. So we then go to Angel's office. It's the next morning. He has delivered the envelope.
And he does not open it yet because he has to do when he does open it, he has to do use it for scene business.
Yeah, he's like, I can't open that until I have some dialogue so I can open it while I'm walking.
It is ridiculous, but he does look good in that scene. I know you're upset with the hair, but he is wearing that Henley. I'm like, hello.
Oh, yeah.
Hello, Mr. Angel.
The forearms are out.
Yes.
So we have a fun little goofy moment with the phone. Angel hits a button and he's, transferred to ritual sacrifice rather than, his secretary. He just wants some coffee or some blood. He finally gets his secretary, but then his secretary is like, no, this is Angel's office. And he's like,
know that voice anywhere.
Angel. Poor boy, he's at sea, but he asks for some blood and is told it'll be here right away. And he gets a call from Wes, who's going to stop by. And then there is a mug of blood put on his table. And we pull out. And who placed it there, LaToya?
One Harmony Kendall, star of everyone's favorite Dawson's Creek episode, Downtown Crossing.
Yeah, baby girl. Hello, my friend. Angel is not happy to see Harmony, which I thought was
Couldn't
rude.
be me.
Could not be me. He's like, you're working at fucking Wolfram and Hart? And she's like, yeah, I've been working here a while. Single undead gals in LA have to start somewhere.
Yeah, single undead gal trying to make it in the big city. Spinoff. Go.
Done. Now. She's like, come on. This could be a good idea. We keep the same hours. Creatures of the night unite. Right?
Harmony says she types like a superhero, which I'm like, we know you don't. And I write in all caps, deliver.
Deliver. I'm sorry, but I type like a superhero. If there was a superhero who could type really fast, that's me. Got to put that on my resume as a writer's assistant. She says at first he's like, oh my God, did you give me human blood? And she's like, no. I don't even touch the stuff. That is pig's blood. And there's a little secret ingredient. It's otter.
Ooh.
He does not look pleased to have heard that. So Wes shows up and he's like, oh, hey, Harmony. And Angel's like, you fucking knew about this? And Wes is like, I made this decision.
Angel says you turned evil a lot faster than I thought you would. I'm like, really? I feel like Wes is the first one you would think would turn evil. You have the context.
Your son. You remember that. So I fully agree. Wes was very smart. As someone who's worked for a fair amount of older white men, they do not like meeting new people. So it is smart to hire someone he already knew.
But they do love when you print out their emails.
Oh, they love it so much. Make that font big. So Harmony then brings up Cordelia Chase. Heard of her?
And then we get some people caring and some acting, guys. Mm-hmm. We do.
Yeah, they tell her, we didn't know you didn't know. Gets very solemn. Cordy's sick. She's in a coma. And Harmony takes that in. And for a minute, she's very sad about it. And then she's like, okay, never mind. And pivots. And yes. I write in my notes, shut up, Joss.
I mean, yes, shut up, Joss. I wrote in my notes, Harmony got me fucked up. Then she remembers she has no soul and moves on.
I love her, and I would love this joke in any other context.
Yes, it's just because keep her name out of your mouth, Joss Whedon.
Yeah, I'm truly like, you can shut up about her, actually. So Harmony is, sent to go fetch the people waiting in Wes's office, and it's time to talk about the one, the only, Corbin Fries.
Played by the one, the only Rod Rowland.
Yeah.
Everyone's, at least especially in this era, everyone's favorite dirtbag.
Yes. I felt at home with him.
Yes, he's been dirtbag in pretty much every show. Of course, Veronica Mars, he's Liam Fitzpatrick. He loves to beat up children.
Hell yeah.
I will say, especially during this era, there was an episode of Fastlane that played on this dirtbaggery where he plays an undercover cop who's like so deep undercover you can't tell if he's actually a good guy or a dirtbag. That's like the whole episode. And I did learn that he dated Gillian Anderson. He is her date to the Emmys in '97 when she wins. And he looks good, by the way.
I bet they're both looking pretty dang good.
Yeah, he's still going. He's still dirtbagging up. He's mostly like an acting coach now, too.
Oh, cool.
And the two testimonies on his site are from Travis Fimmel of Vikings and, of course, the WB's Tarzan. He is Tarzan himself.
Hell yeah.
And Gillian Anderson.
Yay!
They're still buddies.
Oh, that makes me really happy. He's doing great. They explain that his character is facing like 20 years for all of his awful crimes. And
he calls his lawyer a butt munch, and Harmony just starts laughing.
Harmony laughing at him being cruel to his lawyer is so fucking funny. He's like, he's so pissed off. He's like, like the old Wolfram and Hart, like this wouldn't have never even gotten to trial. Like this is so fucked up. And this is where he starts asking for something, and where I'm about to start asking for something.
Yeah. First of all, he says, also, Holland Manners wouldn't have stood for this. A great man.
And he says, you, ... gotta get me off. Which he proceeds to say 2 more times. He demands that Angel get him off. And I don't know about you, but is someone seeming a little bit Boreanaz?
Oh, absolutely. Hit it, bitch.
He's got a broody stare and hot spiky hair. If you're straight or gay, your tingly feelings don't care. You're just being honest about this sexy demonic and you're bi for Boreanaz. Bi for Boreanaz. Bi for Boreanaz.
I mean, that's also like an aspect of Rod Rowland's scumbag characters. He always seems also like bisexual at the same time being a scumbag.
Yeah, and as a bisexual scumbag myself.
You wish.
I see.
You wish you had this energy, honestly.
I know, I could never.
He's too cool, is the thing.
Never be that powerful.
He's such a piece of shit, this character. But it's like, Rod Rowland is just so cool. I'm like, okay.
Yeah, that dude fucking rules.
It's like, he fucks. He's like a garbage man.
Oh,
like, he fucks.
Absolutely. This is interesting given what our certain segments coming up later. He says, he's like, you have to do everything you can for me. But like, the jury is tamper-proof and all of the stuff's going on.
Which
the only thing
I like because so they're like, yeah, the DA has Shaman, which, see, it's good to know that like Wolfram and Hart isn't always like at the advantage, like stacking the deck. Like there actually is like people combating them in the way that you would think in Magic.
Yeah, and it's like they should set a meeting with those people right now.
Yeah,
and figure out.
You should be working with them.
Yeah,
you should go to that law firm. Go to the law firm that have all the good shamans.
Come on, guys. So, but the only thing they can do is just like work the case and try to win it. So Corbin asks, like, he has to get off 2 more times and then threatens to bomb all of California.
Yeah, he says the episode title, Conviction, and then he's going to destroy all of California, besides the dead / undead, I guess. Also, I noticed, like, towards the end, see like Rod Rowland's dimples.
Yeah. Looking good. I could fix him. I could change him. So
I'm surprised there wasn't like an arc in Veronica Mars where someone's like, I can fix Liam Fitzpatrick.
I could fix Liam Fitzpatrick. I believe that. We go to commercial, we come back. We are in a conference room, and Lorne is setting everyone up to sing for him. They're all hanging out nervously in this room, and Lorne has a little grid for them.
Well, that's because they're used to like psychics like reading them and then like blowing up their heads if they are evil, or not if they're evil, but if they're doing something bad. So.
Oh yeah, absolutely. But I am obsessed with the grid that Lorne has made and the scale on which he can rate these people based on what he senses off of them. The categories are okay, on the bubble, evil, to be fired, and my favorite category, yikes.
Which category do you think we both are on?
I think I'm a yikes.
Not even for evil purposes.
Not even just like, oh, there's a lot going on here.
You just singing constantly, even when he's like, I've read you already. You're like, wait, I have another number.
I can do one more. This woman sings.
Morgan is undressing.
I am. I'm getting down to my shirt. We then go to Fred's lab. She is hanging up a poster for the chicks. Hell yeah.
And also, proper era, fuck W.
Yeah. Fucking rules. And Knox, as she's explaining Lorne's powers to Knox, and Knox is like, oh, I'll totally sing. I just want you to be comfortable, like running the lab with me. And she's like, I'm actually more comfortable running away from things.
Here's the deal. Every nerd man is Joss Whedon. Mm-hmm. It doesn't matter the performance. Go away. I don't like this performance.
I don't know if it's the performance that I take
later
issue with. There's not a lot here.
Later when he's trying to talk about how he's not evil or whatever, and I'm just like, well, no, because again, like I said before, it's like just following orders. It's like, you came to Evil Incorporated.
Yeah, like
your contracts say you're evil.
Yeah, and there's not even been any, like, you have no idea the good we do, or I came here because of, like, this thing that I can only study here, or, like, anything like that. There's no explanation other than, well, I'm just following orders. And, like, we've contained more diseases than we've created. Like, fuck off.
Yeah.
It's less the performance that I disagree with. It's more the idea that Fred would be charmed by this man.
Yeah.
She's a woman in STEM. She's met a million of him.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Usually talking down to her. And you know what? Maybe we could get more into like this like character psyche, because like we know from like previous Wolfman Heart employees, from both Lindsay and Lila, we understand the reason why they joined up with Evil Incorporated. Like Lindsay was like a poor Southern boy who like got out and he wanted to like show that he could be a big shot. Lila, like her mother was like, because she wants to be like on top, basically. Yeah. She doesn't want to ever be like from a place underneath. She doesn't want to ever be a victim. Like that's the thing we saw. Yeah. And Knox is just like, I like science. I like hacking in the phone. Shut up.
Like, ugh. And it just like sucks. And it sucks additionally because it was written by Joss Whedon, who I know to be a toxic nerd.
We know his tricks.
And it just sucks that like, but for me, it sucks that I feel like we're regressing with Fred again. Like where she's like, I don't know if I can do anything. And I'm like, but
Fred's a fucking champion. If there's one thing to take out of season 4 that we liked, it was that.
Yes, and it just like sucks to feel like that has disappeared completely. And she can't even answer her phone right because she's so dang adorkable.
I mean, if it like goes back to like how when she was shining as a physicist, you know, her professor did what he did. Yeah. It's like, you just want to shine too much because bad things happen. That's a story.
That's something.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's just like this repiloting just feels like is simplifying everything and everyone. And that gives me a lot of pause, even though I'm I requested no more of season 4.
And
I don't know if I need everything to be so shiny and new.
You're missing season 4 now, aren't you, baby?
No.
I kind of am. But also, to acknowledge, now she is Smurfette. She's the girl.
Yeah.
At least when there was like one girl before with charisma, it was like the cast was also smaller too.
Yeah.
Remember when it was just like 3 people in the cast?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's wild. She's been upgraded from Yellow Ranger to Pink Ranger. And it's a lot of responsibility.
Which of course Amy Acker can handle. Like, come on.
Very much so, but it just like sucks to have like I just like don't think it's not cute to me to make an intelligent, capable woman like completely ineffective due to oopsie daisies and whoopsie hazits, like, which is what Joss Whedon seems to think is very cute and appealing to do. And I think Amy Acker can be very cute and appealing, being competent. And Fred has been in the past. And it's not like she's completely incompetent here. Like, this is not the newsroom situation. But
No, it is not. That is a whole other level. I'll give Joss that. It's not a newsroom woman situation.
Yeah, congrats, Joss.
A millennial not knowing what LOL is. Come on.
Yeah, I gotta go. But it just feels bad. Like, I've got a bad feeling in my stomach, like, even as everyone's smiling. And to a certain extent, that is very much the vibe of this episode. It's that, hey, come in, we have all these shiny toys. Don't think about how this is actually bad. And it's interesting how that stacks with, I think, a bunch of things that are happening that are actually bad under the surface, like in this show, metatextually. I just think that the fish rots from the head.
Hi, I'm Dana Schwartz, and this is Rise or Die, the official companion podcast for Peacock's original series, Those About to Die. On this podcast, I go behind the scenes with the show's cast and creators to learn how they brought their brutal vision of Rome to life. I talk to acclaimed director and executive producer Roland Emmerich.
When I saw the first race, I was like giddy.
Actor Ewan Ryan.
For an actor, that's a dream. Although you do get a lot of sand in your sandals.
And so many more.
You helped summon those ghosts back onto that stage.
Every day when I went to set, I was giggling about like what I saw.
I think it's going to be a breathtaking thing.
People will freak out.
Rise or Die launches on July 18th. Watch or listen wherever you get your podcasts.
Don't you love it when you find a new podcast you really like? Well, let me recommend one. It's called Something You Should Know. I'm Mike Carruthers, the host, and in every episode, you'll hear fascinating information that will make your life better from top experts. Recently, we've done episodes on why you have the personality you do, the science of luck, and the psychology of a restaurant menu. You're going to like Something You Should Know. We have literally thousands of 5-star reviews. Look for Something You Should Know wherever you get your podcasts.
It's pretty clear to everyone by now that social media has changed everything from the way we live to how we discuss politics and what we think we know about the world around us. Which begs the question, who's in charge here? Hi, I'm Jon Favreau, former Obama speechwriter turned chronically online host of Offline with Jon Favreau. Join me every week just outside your social media-fueled echo chamber for a smarter, lighter conversation about the real-time changes and real-world effects of social media and the internet on all of our lives. Check out Offline with Jon Favreau every Sunday wherever you get your podcasts.
That's what they say.
This is what I've heard. Our next scene's in Angel's office. We start shooting it through like the window into the lobby because like we are trying to showcase this new set and all of the different ways that we can look at it and all of the different ways the rooms fit together, which you are getting a pretty good sense of space here. They all agree that the goal is to find and disable Corbin Fry's bomb in case they can't win the trial. So they're like, this bomb like might not be literal. It could be magical. It could be virus. It could be poison.
Yeah.
So Fred is going to like look into Wolfram and Hart's like science past and figure out if they've made any viruses, and you know what they could have made in terms of like a weapon that he might be using.
Yeah, and he will have to say a magic word. They did get that from it. That was literal.
Yeah. And Lauren gets his assignment, which is to go watch the trial. What do you think about this Mary-Kate and Ashley joke?
It's very of the era. I was more wanting to talk about how, so they're all like, no idea why God isn't there, but Lauren is especially confused by why Harmony is there.
Yeah. I appreciate Lauren being very upset about that. He doesn't like this.
But Lauren, I don't know why you're upset to go watch a legal drama. I love legal dramas.
But he was gonna get to meet Mary-Kate and find out about Ashley's new piercing.
That's not them. That's the thing. That's not them.
I'm like, that's not Lauren. Like he'd want to meet Sigourney Weaver.
Yeah.
You know? Like he'd want to meet Dame Judi Dench.
But even of the era, say he wants to meet Mary-Kate and or Ashley, neither of them is getting piercings. That was never their thing.
It's also just like weirdly sexualizing these like people, and it's like not even funny. Like it's not a good joke. Like
we should just be happy it's not a Britney joke, I guess.
Yeah, I guess. I guess we should just be happy it's not worse. So Harmony can't reach Gunn, but she has gotten Spanky's address for Angel. They're all like, Spanky? Excuse me? And he says Spanky is a freelance mystic that Corbin has gone to a couple of times. So Angel's going to go do the legwork.
So Corbin wasn't just fucking him?
I mean, he says he doesn't spank men, but, you know, maybe he does other stuff. So Angel goes to the garage. He is looking at all of his beautiful cars that he can't wait. He can't even choose between. They're so pretty. Do we buy this?
He goes full Bruce Wayne / Batman. So, like, Joss basically comes back to the show and is like, he's still Batman, right? That's what it feels like.
Yeah, he's like, I know Batman.
I mean, we did just watch Guys Will Be Guys, and the fake Tish McGev was like, you care about appearances, and that's why you have that car. It's like, I do buy it, though, actually.
Yeah, like, there's a certain amount of, like, I do buy that he's a car buff, but what I was surprised by is that he, like, picked a yellow car. I was like, Angel would never. All of these cars need to be black and red.
It's funny to me, though, it's been a week, and temptation has already really gotten to him. A flashy yellow car. Come on, Angel.
Some fucking champion immediately zooping around the city in fucking Bumblebee over here. All right, dude. Come on, help the helpless. Then Hauser comes up to him and is like, we hear you want to get a floater. Like, we can go procure him for you. And Angel's like, no, I've got it. And they clearly have a very adversarial relationship. And this isn't the end of them being on opposite sides of stuff.
It's not. Yeah, they talk about wet work. Yeah, he's like, I'm here for killing. And he's like, you definitely meant field work, right?
No, Angel. So we go to Spanky's. And before we
go downtown to see Spanky.
We make our way downtown and we see Spanky. I wonder if there's anyone we could talk to about Spanky and his general vibe and all of the various goings on that happen in Spanky's home.
You're right. It's time for my fucking corner.
Kristin's Corner. Kristin's Corner. It's all Riley sucks and what the fuck and Cordy is hot. Kristin's Corner is the place for very deep thoughts.
So are you suggesting the song lyrics be making my way downtown to Spanky's house where he's got his paddles on the wall? Bing, bing, bing.
Yes.
I'm not part of this.
He does spank, and he only spanks the ladies.
My biggest question, okay, because I'm here for this.
Mm-hmm.
I'm here and I'm not here for. You know, a lot of this episode, hearing you guys talk about it, is like, these are the things we like, but also Joss is here, so everything has a particular lens on it. So, but let's just throw that right out the window, okay? So that I can have some feelings about this man.
Let's have some fun. Yeah.
Let's have a good time with Spanky. But my biggest feeling was
wait. This beat is sick. Let's have some fun. I want to take a ride on your Spanky stick.
Perfect.
Literally thought you were like, there's an audio issue, and you were like, literally.
I had to repurpose Lady Gaga lyrics.
Great. I just don't know that a man exists who would be exercising while making daiquiris. It's the most confusing part about Spanky to me. And I wonder what you think about this, team?
I'm obsessed. I have to tell you, I have nothing but positive things to say about Spanky. I love Spanky working out in his brown ribbed tank top, making his daiquiris, and he doesn't spank men, but he has nothing against men. He's like, I love a firm male ass, but you should, if you look at the website, you know how much I work on my own. And I'm like,
but Angel is clear. Angel himself is pro spanking men, and that's the difference.
Yeah.
I mean, okay, and that's my other question about Spanky, the Spanky scene, as it is classically, iconically referred to.
Of course.
The Spanky scene, trademark. Is it David Boreanaz who's into the idea of being spanked, or is it Angel? Because somebody there is into it, and I can't figure out which one.
I love it. There's a crackling chemistry here, and I think Spanky's considering, changing his no spanking boys policy.
When Angel puts his chin on Spanky's shoulder, like he rests his whole chin on his shoulder.
It's so intimate, and I loved it.
Me too.
I loved it so much. I want to have a daiquiri. Like, it made me want a daiquiri.
I'll take a daiquiri and a spanking. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I think those things can go together.
It's season 5, baby. Let's go.
Yeah, what else can they do? Spanky explains, he built Corbin a magical vessel, and a magic word will dissolve it. And Spanky tries to pull a fast one on Angel, but Angel's like, you forgot something. I have no problem with spanking men. And
he tries to do autoerotic asphyxiation on Angel.
Which was a topic in the Buffering the Vampire Slayer land. Are vampires always at the erotic level of asphyxiation? Or because they cannot participate in the activity, are they always that aroused? That's the math. So I'm bringing it to the Angel.
Is that how
top
heightened everything is?
Right.
See,
exactly.
I think they can't breathe, so they cannot experience whatever the science behind the lack of oxygen, climax or whatever.
In order to achieve the level of arousal, they actually need to be put into a tank and sunk to the bottom of the ocean. That's actually what Justine was trying to do.
Yeah, she was trying to help him come.
She was trying to help.
Crazy how we are in season 5 and Justine will still come up.
We're just
the
wishing
main
she'd come back.
character of Angel. Yeah. I know that you brought me here to talk about spanking, and I'm honored.
Yeah.
I also just want to take a little moment in my corner to say that I am so excited that Harmony is here.
Yeah, baby.
I fucking love Harmony. Has to be one of my favorite characters of all the universes, and she is like, she's a grown-up version of Harmony. She is. She's matured, and
her little peach
I love her.
Suit. Did you die?
Oh my God. And her natural makeup, she's moved off of the classic Harmony makeup look, and it's just like, I'm here at the office to do work. Yeah.
She has matured. Mercedes McNabb is fresh off of everyone's favorite Dawson's Creek episode, Downtown Crossing.
So I've heard.
So I'm really excited. I have to say, I don't remember all the things that happened in this season.
What?
I know, wild. But I was delighted to watch this episode. Like, I hit play, and then, like, fucking Harmony was there, and then fucking Spike, we're not there. You'll talk about that. But, like, I was just excited. I felt like, as much as it is a repilot, I'm leaning on your expertise here with that term, but like it felt like they definitely put a lot of money into this episode of television, and I was like, okay,
it's an expensive show. It's always been an expensive show.
Absolutely.
At least after season 1. Season 1 was sparse.
They had one Allie and one blonde woman that they used over and over again.
I mean, yeah, I think I've said this before, how after the pilot, my friend Chris, because the blonde woman in the pilot, her name is Tina. So every blonde woman after her, he's just like, that's Tina.
I couldn't remember her name for the thing, and I knew you were going to say that it was Tina. Just another Tina.
Just another
we
Tina.
Should make a jingle. Let's see if Jenny Owen Youngs feels like making a jingle for Tina. All the Tinas of the world, you know.
Kate was a fake Tina. She tricked you into thinking she should have been a Tina.
Undercover Tina.
Undercover Tina.
Sleeper Tina.
Is Kate still doing her business around Los Angeles? She's still rolling around, fucking
Still
being a
crying
cop?
about her dad? I don't know.
Yeah.
She's being Justine.
Yeah. All right, you guys. I'm gonna leave my first corner of season 5. Thank you so much. I will try to bring up spanking in every corner from now until the end of the season. I'll do my best.
Wait. I have to ask you. How do you feel about Eve? As someone again who has no memory of anything.
I'm going to be honest with you. Yeah, I have no memory. I only know of Eve what I have seen of Eve in this episode, and I felt two things. I felt that she felt very young to me, that what you guys talked about really tracked, but I was actually kind of into her presence in the show right now. I don't know where she'll go or what will happen.
Don't worry, Kristin, this isn't Cole Turner Cast. We're not going to like give you shit for that, like as though she was Leo the bum.
She's not Leo.
Yeah, I liked the difference between her and like I liked that she was a different kind of human. She felt different to me than like a lot of the characters that we've seen. So I was into her in this episode, but there was one scene with her where her lips were literal candy. Like they glossed her lips so red.
2003,
and
baby.
I felt uncomfortable. I didn't like it. So, there's that.
Yeah.
But I'm not off board with Eve right now. I actually thought that she did a decent job.
Okay.
Fair enough.
And Knox, I guess I'm just going through the list.
Knox, I already hate Knox because he was fucking what's his face from
Firefly?
the graveyard.
Oh yeah, I mean from
Holden Caulfield.
Yeah, it was Holden Caulfield. He was talking about everyone being a fucking phony.
Yeah, and I hated it because he was Joss embodied in that role in Buffy. So, like, when I see that man anywhere now, I'm just like, no.
First thought is always Firefly with him.
Yeah, I had him as Holden first, and then Firefly, and well, anyway, thumbs down on that guy. Also. Gunn and Wesley in the opening scene of this show needed to kiss.
Yeah.
They needed to. There was a moment when Gunn like grabbed Wesley's bicep to like pull him off into his little office. And I was like, excuse me, gentlemen.
The boys are back.
Boyfriends. I would have loved to have seen them be boyfriends. They're so cute.
Oh, and Gunn in that flannel, giving off like serious lesbian vibes. I was like real into the whole situation in that opening scene. Anyway, any other questions for me?
No, I think I'm good. Are you good, LaToya?
I think I'm good. I think I'm good. I'm sure you will chime in.
I missed you both. I love you both.
Yeah.
And just in case no one over here in the Angelverse knows, the feud ended actually. So we're all.
If you don't listen to buffering because you are so deep into the feud.
The feud's over.
You can listen now.
You can actually listen to buffering now if you want to.
The feud has lifted.
All right, you guys. I'll see you next time.
All right. Bye, buddy.
Kristin's Corner. Kristin's Corner.
Our next scene is in the waiting room where Gunn is stuck reading like old magazines for 5 hours.
Gunn is in fucking Rack's lobby.
it looks spooky. They bring him into a tiny little lab.
Yeah. This dude's named Dr. Sparrow. This is the tale of Dr. Jack Sparrow.
I have written in my notes, run. Like, I'm sorry, but why are you allowing this?
He's in the fucking bleep blorp clinic is what I wrote in my notes.
Yeah, I'm not letting those people put any shit into my brain. No, thank you.
Well, I mean, later when they show what's happening, I'm like, Gunn is hooked up to Edward Nygma's box from Batman Forever.
It's like very like janky Matrix, like and like in the way that he knows kung fu. Like he's having a law degree uploaded in his head.
It was a nicer facility when Lindsay got his new hand.
Yeah.
What the fuck?
I don't know. I don't like it. The Dr. Sparrow is talking to him about, oh, you spoke to the conduit in the White Room, and Gunn's like, yeah, that's between me and the big cat, which I loved because it was a big cat.
It was, because this show was like money, 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 money.
Our next scene takes place in Fred's office. Knox found, maybe a lead, a pesticide that they worked on with Corbin fries.
Yeah, a cult called the Black Tomorrow. I mean, that's a cool cult.
Yeah. I mean,
what should we call our cult?
Ian Somerhalder is 7'2".
I love how we've only like teased the discussion of our cult and not explained it to anyone. It's just for us.
It's just for us. Like a cult can be very personal. Knox is looking through the employee files about like the guy who worked on this pesticide, and they're like, oh, he was fired, or rather he was set on fire for doing this project. Based on his weird cult, it seems pretty safe to assume that the thing they were working on was actually a virus. Fred finally remembers she's in an evil place with an evil person and should be wary of things. And she yells at everybody.
Good. Knox says we've contained more plagues than we've ever designed. And he says we're not all about destruction here, which I read in my notes. 1, don't buy it. 2, his delivery is insufferable, even if I think we're supposed to like him. Mm-hmm. Like, because it would be one thing if he signed on to fight evil from within, like our gang. Mm-hmm. But as far as we know, he did not. He signed his immortal life away. I'm pretty sure they all did. Mm-hmm. And yeah, I love that Fred just fucking reads them all later.
Yeah, fucking finally. Yeah, she answers her phone, Department of Fred. I love her. It's Angel. Angel found out what the container is and where it is.
Fucking sucks.
It's inside the little boy that we saw who is not allowed to read The Punisher. His name is Matt Fries, and he's Corbin's son. Yikes.
Yeah.
These are the bad guys.
Connor, you little shit. You still think Angel's a bad dad?
You still think he's a bad fucking dad? Like, look at this shit. So...
Angel ruins the whole thing. He grabs Connor. Like, look at this little shit.
This is good.
Every time he's a bad parent, he grabs this kid who has no memory of him, and he says this.
I don't know you. I'm trying to go to college.
That's my purse. I don't know you.
Please. We go to commercial, we cut back. The shot where we cut back is so silly. We like go through a big tube and come out in the lab where Gunn's getting his procedure done, and he has no shirt, and he's getting like bootleg Matrixed, and he's going like, ah!
Again, it is real Batman Forever, and you know I love my Batman Forever, but that's what's happening here.
I know you do, and it's very silly, and he's like, keep going!
I need Val Kilmer to tell this doctor he's a madman.
Please. I wish Val Kilmer was here.
So I can imagine a world in which Val Kilmer is Angel.
I absolutely could. And it's a good world, in my opinion.
No offense to Boreanaz, but like, let's just take a moment.
Whatsoever.
Or no. Wow. Okay, so Boreanaz is still Angel. Mm-hmm. Val Kilmer is Spike.
Spike? Yeah. Okay. Yes. I don't know if I buy it as much. I feel like I buy him more as Angel, and maybe that's like the Top Gun influence in me. Like,
I would say like the Iceman of it all tells me he could be Spike. Mm-hmm. But okay, so we put him as Angel and we put Boreanaz as Spike.
Okay, hot. I don't want to hear him do that accent, actually.
I I do want to hear him do that. I want to hear Boreanaz do every accent.
I do wish he'd make us a dialect tape.
I want him to go full Balagda.
Full Eliza Doolittle.
This podcast is bad.
Yeah, it's pretty bad. Our next scene takes place in the Wolfram and Hart lobby. It's a Wes and Fred scene. It's late at night. They're trying to, they're both kind of at their wits' end. Fred doesn't have much on the virus, and Wes doesn't have anything on the magic word.
Yeah.
They're both worried about Angel.
Yeah, they're worried about Angel because they don't understand why he seems to be taking this all personally. We understand.
Mm-hmm.
And this is, I write in the scene that I technically like this set.
Yeah.
And for the reasons I already discussed, yeah.
Yeah, so like the way that he is able to shoot it from above, like on the kind of like scaffolding, like down the stairs, like it is cool. You can get a lot of different kinds of levels. And that's also something that's like a really big deal in Dollhouse, which is like all the surveillance and looking up and down. And yeah. And
especially now knowing like his reasoning for the set, like that's why he just did the same set for Dollhouse.
Yeah.
That's the reason why.
He likes that shape, and fair enough. We go to Angel's office, and Eve is there. Angel is very horrified. This guy would hide a biological weapon inside a child. Fair enough.
I'm gonna have to go back into being like, it does feel like someone very young who shouldn't be. No one young should be this role, because it's like, think about like the actors they had playing the lawyers on the show, and they were like all very adult. Like,
yeah.
It's again, Morena Baccarin would have fit the role.
Yeah, and it's just this person doesn't seem very like I guess what do they get by her being young? And the only answer I can come up with to that question is sexy young girl. And that makes me feel
disgusted.
Bad. Yes, quite
because
bad.
On Boston Public, the whole thing was that like she was like the mature teenager trying to like fuck her teacher or whatever. And it's like, yeah. And don't worry, they didn't fuck until after she graduated.
Oh, now I'm no longer worried.
But yeah, it's just like, yeah, she's completely off mature for a teenager.
Yeah, that it does not work for me, but we can keep going, I guess. She reveals she knows about Connor. And he's like, I don't want to fucking hear that word come out of your lips. And she's like, what do you want to come out of my lips?
Ew.
I don't know why I did that voice, but I did to convey that I'm unhappy.
And also I write in my notes, because it happens more than once. It happens in the scene too, which is her, how do you know I'm ... Like when she does that dialogue, I'm like, no, that's bad. It's just bad dialogue. It doesn't matter who's saying it. It's bad dialogue.
It's not
how do you know
great.
why? Because at least in this performance, it's very face value what is happening, unfortunately. But like, I don't think it would be good even if I preferred like the performance either.
Yeah. It's just like, it's weird. It's really weird. I don't like it. So, there's more weird flirting. He's like, you're not cute when I'm mad. And I'm like, you thought she was, like, cute before? She's a baby. Angel's like, whatever, I can handle this. Like, I'll just isolate the kid to contain the virus if necessary. And Eve says, okay, well, just so you know, if every case is going to hit you this hard, you're going to last a fucking week, my guy. And
Which
she
is
leaves,
true.
and she's mysterious. Yeah, I mean, she is a very fair point. This you gotta harden your heart if you're gonna work here. Then at the lab, science is happening. Knox tells us this is a retrovirus spread by touch, and this is where Fred is finally like fucking fed up with him, and she yells at everybody, and she's like, "You all fucking deserve to die of this thing because you made it. Fuck you. Keep working."
And this is the scene where I notice, because at the end it like closes up on Knox, that he notices his sideburns, and I'm like, he looks like Greg Brady.
Yeah, I think we're supposed to find him, I think, very much more winning than I find him.
Because again, he is a Joss proxy. We all know this.
Joxy.
And but also, as you said before, he's proto-Topher from Dollhouse, and the thing with Topher is that they acknowledge that he's a fucking villain.
Yeah, Topher has way more of an edge, which I prefer.
From day one, it's like he's a piece of shit.
Yeah, he's like, this guy absolutely fucking sucks. And I'm like, but what if he was my little baby? That is also like fully me being 1,000% on board for Fran Kranz.
Fran Kranz just fucking rules.
The king, the goat, the guy. Fucking love him. This is not my beautiful Topher. This is a different thing that I don't like. We go to court now. Corbin's lawyer is objecting, and the judge is not allowing it.
Watch yourself, counselor.
Lauren leaves and comes out, and he's in a little hat, and I'm like, I'm sorry. If you're in a hat and you're moving and you're covered up, maybe no one's gonna notice you're green. You are sitting stationary in a place for hours, and you want green, sir.
Lauren to start going in white face?
Yes.
He gets the white chicks technology put on him.
Yeah, actually, I do want the white chicks technology to be brought to Lauren.
Kristen, I have to know, do you like that? Do you like that idea?
Yes.
That's the thing that breaks us.
I like it.
I just want to narrate for the listeners that they have lost it, people. LaToya and Morgan have lost it. The glasses are fogged
showing up and hitting on Lauren in his white chick's face. Being like, oh my God, you are beautiful.
Welcome to season 5 of Angel on Top. They'll be here for at least 21 more
blonde
episodes.
wig.
Isn't that so? Oh yeah, I want to see the wig. Lauren's gonna throw a bitch fit.
We're both crying, just so you guys know.
Sorry. Look, that's just the power of great cinema, white chicks. Okay. The trial is going very poorly for Corbin, and it seemed to be heading towards the end. And Lauren's like, he's gonna say the word any fucking second. We gotta get going here. And who is listening in on this call? But Agent Hauser from before.
So he says the line, "Okay, let's show the new boss how a threat is contained." And this is where I say in my notes, "Okay, Riley."
Yeah.
This is officially where he is Riley.
Bragging about containment is very Riley.
And then another one says, "Terminate the kid." And they're like, "This is a level 1 possible contagion." Okay, so here's the thing. Mm-hmm. The kid himself is not the vessel. Mm-mm. The vessel is inside him.
The kid, yeah.
Killing the kid and killing anyone in 50 yards for no witnesses won't stop the contagion. He'll be dead, but he says the word and it goes out. Yeah. You morons.
You'll have just killed the client's child, which seems to me like bad business.
Yeah. It's not saying the vessel only, because it's not just in the kid. It's it's in his heart. It's not like if you stop his heart, then the vessel won't work. No, the vessel specifically can be anything, have anything in it, and be anywhere.
Yeah, it's not a great plan. But
it's a very Riley plan.
Yeah, but he's a bad guy, so we have to know that because he's going to kill a bunch of kids. So in Angel's office...
Well, no, they say no survivors, no witnesses. And then I write, oh, God, they're making a false flag.
Yeah.
2003, we weren't talking about false flags, but Joss Whedon created it. It's actually... no, because, they would... It's so fucking upsetting. And it's already bad enough that it's and I remember feeling at the time weird about it, that it was happening at a school and it's all this violence. Yeah. But they were about to fake a school shooting. That was what their plan was.
Yeah. It's very, very gross and bad feeling, and it seems to exist to fully be so these guys are bad, unlike our guys who are good. And you don't have to have someone about to kill a bunch of kids for me to know they're evil.
Yeah, I already knew he was evil.
I figured it out before.
And then then he has a speech about how he's a zealot. So then we keep being told he's evil. No, we know.
I'm like, I get that this one episode character is evil.
Yeah, it's also like 100% this episode, because I feel like after by mid-season 3 they all had it like this episode is for our older audiences, because the way Angel kills him, that needs discretion advised right there.
For the WB, hell yeah. So we go to Angel's office. He's going to go to the school. Harmony is like, wait, fucking listen to me. And, they keep being like, shut up, Harmony. But she's like, no, I have something to fucking say. Like, the special operations team left 10 minutes ago, and they have cleaners sent after them, which means this is going to be a job with a lot of bodies. And
I love that she had to ask her, listening to her colleagues to know that's cleaners. Yes, we all know cleaners, what they do.
Not Harmony. She doesn't have to worry her pretty little head about that kind of stuff. And they're like, you'll never beat them on the street. But how will he beat them? We see the car full of Wolfram and Hart goons speeding towards the school. At court, we see that the only thing Wes has brought with him to be helpful is one gun.
His plan is, as soon as he is convicted, shoot him in the head.
Shoot him in the head, which I'm like, Wes.
That is pretty funny, though.
His plan is to kill a man in broad daylight in public.
I guess he figures Wolfram and Hart can get him out of it.
Fair enough. At school, the special ops guys barge in. They pull the smoke grenades, but the classroom that we know little Matt was in is empty. Angel's there. It turns out he has a helicopter.
I do like that.
He's very excited about having a helicopter. It is very cute. So the goons are like, fine, we'll kill you, and they start shooting him up.
My note is Angel tells Riley and company they're all fired.
Yeah.
Sorry to all you Riley heads. Sorry, Jenny, but he felt like he auditioned for Riley.
Yeah. Do you remember that guy who read for Riley? Can we get him?
It was Christian Kane, Mark Lucas, and this guy.
Hell yeah. So we have a big old action sequence back in court. Seems like all is lost. Except someone's walking into the courtroom. We can't see their face, but they have gorgeous shoes, a beautiful suit, an elegant briefcase. Oh, wait. Is that Charles Gunn?
Hit the theme.
Check that tux, check that bod. Sign me up for the gun squad. Did someone say golden god? I'm all in on the gun squad. Game boy playing, himbo king. Sign me up for the gun squad. Even when he's curmudgeoning, I'm all in on the gun squad. Bang, bang. It all Charles gonna shoot his shot. Bang, bang. Cracking skulls up and down the block. Bang, bang. Got a smile that make the panties drop. Bang, bang. Gun squad, gun squad.
He's looking so good. I've said a lot of things about Gunn in this episode, but he is looking good.
Oh yeah, he is. The judge disagrees because she says, another defense lawyer, what a joy. Lady.
Cal.
Keep it to yourself.
You can't say that stuff. He's there to request a mistrial, regarding the judge. He's like, that's the second prejudicial remark you've made since I fucking walked in.
Yeah, because as we're saying, she needs to keep it to herself.
Yeah. And so at first you're like, okay, is he just going to argue that she's not impartial because of all the stuff that she's been saying? Probably kind of a stretch, but could be done.
Because it is the kind of thing where, because you tell the judge to recuse themselves, but they're the ones who judge if they should recuse themselves, which would be like, no.
So instead, he brings up that apparently a company that she invested in is a subsidiary of one of Corbin Fry's companies, technically making him her financial benefactor or employer, making things a conflict of interest. And she's like, how could you possibly have all of that information? This isn't a conflict of interest that's too many steps removed away. And Gunn is just like having a great time knowing exactly what he's talking about and reading this lady for filth.
But also, we should look into Wolfman Hart's associates and paralegals for missing this completely.
Yeah. Well, I mean, you know, they didn't have the law freshly splooped into their brain.
Unless they were like grads, like they just graduated from law school, then maybe they should.
Yeah, they should be like that. But Gunn is loving it. He's like making the jury laugh by being like super witty, and he's just like, he's into it. He fucking is gonna win this thing. And you can tell right away, and we've done it. But at what cost?
Now here's the thing. So this begins J. August Richards playing lawyers for like basically the majority of his career after this. He starts like a Law and Order spinoff after this.
Hell yeah, King.
He's in Raising the Bar with Paul Gosselaar. He is a lawyer. Like, he played a lawyer in Girlfriend's Guide to Divorce. Like,
yeah, baby.
I love Gunn. I love the Gunn that we have, and I love Jay's performance. But like, I feel like he has never seemed more at ease in the role of Gunn than he does here.
He is very comfortable in this position. There is a great feeling of like power and confidence here. So like, I do agree with what you're saying. While it doesn't like necessarily mesh with the Gunn we've always known, it works, I think, because like it's such good stuff for J. August Richards, and like he's like stepping up to the plate so hard with it.
You can argue whether or not it's good for Gunn, but I think it is good for Jay.
Yeah, and that matters.
Yeah, I get it. Especially, we know how the show has been with him, and is in this episode, and like letting him get to show range is a great thing. Especially, they didn't even know this was their final season, but knowing this is their final season now, us at least, it is good to know that he had that to add to his repertoire, actually,
which is great. And he absolutely like steps up to the plate to do it. He actually like fucking rocks. Our next scene is at the school. We're fighting. We fight quite a bit. And then it's a showdown. It's him, two more dudes. Hauser, he's got a big old gun, and he says that Angel is small. He's minuscule, a dust mote on the shelf of whatever.
Oh, this guy's a zealot. In real time realizing, that's what this guy's deal is.
He's a zealot. And he's like, but me, I'm pure. I'm a real believer. I have conviction. Episode title again?
But different context.
And Angel's like, well, you know, there is one thing stronger than conviction. And there he's like, what? Mercy. And then he sidekicks the gun in his hand and essentially like pulls the trigger with his foot, so this guy shoots himself in the head and he dies and blows his brains out in the middle of an elementary school hallway. And the other guy is like, what about mercy? And Angel walks away and goes, he just saw the last of it. A little much for me.
I mean, I guess I will say Riley, sorry, but I'm going to keep calling him Riley, as I do in my notes.
Absolutely.
Has a point that Angel and his friends are conflicted, which is currently what is happening. It's not usually the case. And obviously, Angel will have to give a rah-rah speech to make sure that's not the case still.
Yeah.
But yeah, he does say that's why they will lose, because they are conflicted. So you gotta band together and get your shit together. Do a speech, Angel.
Yeah, you gotta
and don't
have a
do a speech
common
about how
purpose.
everything sucks and you all suck. Do a good speech.
One of your empowering ones.
I do like when Angel's leaving the banner in the school. Respect, learn it, know it, show it.
That I loved. But yeah, I just felt like a little too Batman to me.
But it also is at the same time like, this is 2003, this is happening. I guess at the time we did not know the amount of school shootings and such that would be happening in the world.
I guess, yeah. Jeez.
It is, the whole thing, I'm just like, I couldn't even get into the fight because,
it does not feel good.
It's an elementary school. I don't know.
Yeah, it's not, Like, I understand that it means the stakes are high, but, like, it just doesn't feel necessarily worth it. Then we go to Angel's office. Everyone's riled up by Gunn's new law abilities. They're like, what the fuck? You just, like, let them put shit in your brain. And he's like, just the law, like, nothing else, except actually, like, weirdly, a lot of Gilbert and Sullivan, which Eve says is for elocution.
And I said, okay, Aaron Sorkin.
Yeah, that's some Aaron Sorkin shit. And he's like, seriously, it's just me. Like, nothing evil is in my head. And this is where Eve says that thing about Charles having the most unused potential, which, fuck you.
I mean, but also only we're allowed to say that because it's the show not using him to his fullest potential.
Yeah, like, it's such bullshit to me to also, like, pretend that, like, everything, that all of the things that Gunn does know and is an expert in and has spent his life learning and becoming an expert in, that it takes up no room in his brain. Like, oh, there's actually a ton of room for the law because all of that stuff that Gunn is good at is stupid and for stupid people. Like, I don't know how else I'm supposed to read that. And it sucks. There's so much intelligence that comes with being a fighter and being, like, a general, and also managing, like, the community that he managed. Like, that's a lot of important knowledge, and it's not unused potential. I just hated that so fucking much. They agree we can all de-virus the boy, and you know, Corbin is gonna have to chill out a little bit while the trial drags on, and Gunn can make sure that the trial goes on for a very long time. So that kind of takes him off the board for a while, and that means they won, kind of, but it doesn't feel so good. Mm-hmm. Fred's like, are we really gonna do this? Like, can we really do good here when we're just, like, fighting ourselves? And Angel's like, look, we just got to keep our eyes open and, like, put our heads down, do our work, and Wolfram and Hart is going to slip up and show us why they wanted us here eventually, and then we'll be able to make our move. So as long as nothing happens when I take my big sip of coffee and open my mail.
Yeah, I'm going to be doing a bit of scene business with this mail now. I didn't just open immediately.
I've decided in the middle of this conversation is a good time to open my mail.
Boreanaz tries his best to make it seem as natural as possible, but it's unnatural.
It's very weird. He opens the thing. The necklace that Spike wore in the Buffy finale falls on the ground.
That was meant for Angel, right?
Yeah. It's supposed to be his. And Spike is fully, like, reconstituted in, like, a little tornado. When I was watching this with Michael last night, I said, am I watching The Mummy?
Did Michael catch up on season 4 or did he just skip a bunch?
No, he just watched the last couple of minutes with me and rubbed my feet. He was done playing his video game and I was not done watching this, and I was like, I have a couple more minutes before we brush our teeth, and I was like, will you rub my feet, because I'm annoying. So we had to watch Angel. Yeah, so the little dust tornado goes around Spike, and he's a real boy again, and Wes says Spike and Angel says Spike. And then who pokes her head in there, making it all good again? But my beautiful little Harmony, who goes, Blondie Bear? Good
wow,
episode,
you went
actually.
so high it spiked.
As is correct.
To be continued.
And that's the app, man.
A 2-parter. That was part 1 of 2.
Yeah, and now that all of the characters have officially been introduced.
They have all officially been introduced, because we did not count the credits as introducing Spike.
Yeah. It's time for Fuck Watch, baby.
Oh yeah, it is.
Flirting, understanding, consent, and kissing. Flirting, understanding, consent, and kissing. Fuck Watch.
Morgan.
Yeah.
Who you fucking?
Spanky.
You would think that I'm fucking Corbin, but I'm not. I'm fucking Lawyer Gunn. I'm not even gonna front. He learned to swim.
He's so fucking hot. I was like, it'll be hard for me to not pick, but I'm gonna say that it's gonna be Spanky because I would like a daiquiri.
Yeah, you're waiting to pick Lawyer Gunn. Basically, yeah. I'm going with the intro, baby.
Fair enough. It's incredibly sexy. He's looking so good. He just like, you're right. There's a lot of confidence.
The problem with Corbin is he is an absolutely terrible garbage human being.
Yeah.
It's like I can't even like defend it at all. We can talk about how he fucks and how like we can change him,
Absolutely.
but like no, he's a piece of shit.
Yeah, that's a bad person. And again, that's why I went with Spanky, who you know seems apparently down to spank and make daiquiris for after. So I'm in. And that's Fuck Watch.
That is.
Flirting, understanding, consent, and kissing. Flirting, understanding, consent, and kissing. Fuck Watch.
Now, LaToya, it's been a long day, and they have an unexpected guest. If our gang were to sit down and treat Spike to an episode of the WB, is there anything you'd recommend?
Ooh, Spike's involved now. Hit it, bitch.
Angel is a vampire. Does he even like TV?
I think he'll like the WB.
They got that hot teen drama to ease the pain and trauma, and here's the episode that he needs to see.
Oh, yeah. Funnily enough, the WB only ever had one legal drama. Surprisingly, like, right? Okay. Just Legal, starring Jay Baruchel and Don Johnson. Jay Baruchel plays like a kid who like graduated. He's a genius, so he graduated law school at like 18. So he's just legal. And I may pick that show one day, but today is not that day.
Woo.
Instead, I am picking an episode that obviously Angel needs to watch, Spike needs to watch, all of them need to watch, as they are newly running a law firm, and that is Charmed Season 3, Episode 1, The Honeymoon's Over, aka the introduction of everyone's favorite assistant district attorney and lover of legal justice, especially famous trials, Cole Turner.
Yes!
Maybe also
loves the law.
Yeah, exactly. He loves the law. They could all learn a thing or two from him. How to treat perps.
Yeah.
Like you're in the Shield sometimes.
How to grab ladies' calves.
Maybe Angel will also learn why lying is bad in the case of lying to his friends about his kid.
There is a lot for all of them to learn there. Yeah.
That's my choice.
Fuck yeah. Amazing choice. I would like to watch it with all of them. I want to meet Cole Turner with Lorne. Me sitting between Lorne and Fred and being like, am I right, guys? Oh, that makes me so happy. Now, I just realized our intro doesn't work anymore. Our outro doesn't work anymore. So I'm going to come up with one on the fly. It's going to be so good. That's been our ep. An interesting premiere. I think I understand why people like this season. It is a really, like, it's a different direction. And I think there is a lot to like here. But I also think it's hard to enjoy some of it based on, the strings that come attached, like, Charisma's exit and all of that stuff. But I'm excited to watch this season with you, buddy.
I am too.
We're going to get down to it.
I was going to say, I'm excited to rewatch the season and get paid for it.
Me too.
Probably shouldn't say that.
We are many monsters.
Oh, yes, obviously. We are always saying this. And the thing is, we are always saying this.
Now, if you would like to follow us on social media, you can do so at Angel on Top Cast on both Twitter and Instagram. You can go to angelontop.com to find our Patreon, where you can get ad-free episodes, monthly live watches, which is something we're starting to do now. And
we are watching live. I know we're doing a Lindsay episode because so someone requested it, and just so you know, I'm Team Lindsay. I rarely get to talk about Lindsay. When I do, I love that man.
In our internal emails, I said some dang ass freak requested a Lindsay episode, and you were like, "Is it me?" So actually on the 20th, which is tomorrow, if you're listening to this, we will be watching Disharmony live on Discord to prepare for our baby girl being back with us, which is going to be pretty fun.
You never know. I might be high on pain pills.
Yeah,
so.
Quite possibly, which I think will only make it better.
This is a pre-surgery recording, so 2 days.
Oh gosh. Also on Patreon is the aforementioned Cole Turner. You can find an entire podcast about him. He's the main character of Charmed, and LaToya and I will be talking Cole Turner to you all throughout this month, the month of October and November and December. So
listen to buffering stars like Kristin Russo be verklempt at the way we react to this man.
Absolutely. If you would like to follow me on social media, you can do so at Lorgan Lutich on whatever platform interests you. LaToya, where can the people find you, and should they?
Please don't. People are being weird again.
Yeah, be normal and just keep your distance. Well, with all of that said, you are now leaving Wolfram and Hart. We don't validate.
Okay.
Talmor is my home. My family have worked the land for generations. My gran says the island does not belong to us, but we belong to the island. And we must be ready, for a great evil is coming. And death follows with it.
Listen and subscribe to the latest season of Undertow, The Harrowing, a Storyglass production presented by Realm, available wherever you get your podcasts.
Do you know what lies within nothing?
No.
Do you know where it ends? Do you want to know?
Yes.
Counterbalance, a high fantasy audio drama. Season 2, coming 15th of October 2023. Learn more on trilunas.com.